Hello and welcome to week 3 of Media Management. Hope you've enjoyed the first couple of weeks and the readings that you've done and learning a little bit more about making decisions, about leadership, and about motivation. We're going to continue with those themes this week in week 3. 3 books I want to share with you though that deal with leadership that I found very useful. Number 1 is Good to Great by Jim Collins. He does a fantastic job, did a longitudinal study, does a fantastic job of talking about leadership and how companies who settle for being good, who just get stagnant, how that happens. But then talking about companies that have gone on to greatness, who have been able to sustain greatness, sustain profit, sustain a good atmosphere, what they've done and how they've done that. So he talks about a lot of the principles in there. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't hype Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, he has an updated version, well, his trust has an updated version called How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. That's a very good book as well. And then a book that I went through in my Management, Leadership, and Motivation class when I was working on my PhD, Leadership Theory and Practice by Nordhaus. Your textbook talks about this one, but it talks about different philosophies of leadership. It talks about the style approach, skills versus trait, leader-member exchange theory, contingency theory, transformational theory. Lots of different theories of leadership that we go through that have been tried and true. Talks about the theory, and then there are some instruments at the end of most of the chapters that you can take to find out what your leadership style is. So very, very useful if you're into this thing. If you really like the leadership and motivation chapters and you think that might be an area of study that you want to get into, I'd recommend those 3 books. They worked out very nicely for me. Okay? Again, we're going to continue with this theme this week. First of all, discussion board. You have a video, a very brief video, it's under 3 minutes, posted on discussion board. It's Colin Powell talking about the essence of leadership to him. I've posted the link to that video on there and a question that I would like you to ponder. So that is item number 1. That's due by Friday at 5 o'clock. And the other part of next week is your case study. Remember, each week will alternate. One week we'll be talking about the chapters and your summary and your self-reflection on the chapter. The next week off that same chapter or those same chapters will be case studies. Okay, so off chapter 1, the chapter dealing with leadership, I want you to do case study number 1.2. It's going to ask that you watch a movie, a dramatic movie, or a television episode that deals with management and leadership. If you can find one that deals with media management, media leadership, that's great. If not, that's okay too. But then apply some of those principles. In chapter 2, I'd like to select either case 2.3 or 2.4. They both deal with media convergence, and they're talking about how do you motivate a staff through this big change. And so that's a good chapter for us to be talking about, good case study for us is to be talking about when it comes to motivation. So case 1.2 and then either case 2.3 or 2.4. What you'll do, you'll read the scenario, or in the case of the movie, you'll watch the movie, and then there are a few questions that it asks you to respond to. No given length. I'm not looking for a novel. Again, try and be concise, but also be thorough. Use the concepts you've read about in the chapter, apply them there, and then those again are due by next Friday by 5 o'clock. Next Friday being January 27th at 5 o'clock via email. So just type them up in Word, email them to me, and we'll be good. Okay? If you have any questions, again, as always, give me a call, shoot me an email, come see me. Have a great week.